everyone, I'm Aria. I hope you're all having a good day. So welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Today we are building a cottage. I found this image right here on Pinterest, and usually I work from concept art or something similar, and I found this one maybe a couple of months ago, and there was a couple of different images from different sides and I wasn't really sure what side was meant to be the front, but we went with this one because I thought it had an interesting shaped roof. So I was thinking back to my video from earlier this week where I said that I wanted to build something, I don't know, different to what I normally build. So in case you haven't been here before, I usually build like fantasy style houses, and recently I've been doing some community lots, which has been quite fun. So yeah, I wanted to build something that kind of resembled more of a normal normal house, like a family home, or something that was more likely to be seen, you know, if you were out and about in the English countryside in comparison to what I normally build, because you're not likely to see a medieval castle. So I was thinking back to some of the builds that I had kind of shown you, and I thought maybe I can combine two of the ideas I had, and one was, you know, the like family home, or just like a traditional house and the other idea I had was that I wanted to build something that was very cluttered, because I love the clutter in this game and I wanted to just see how much of it I could use, and try and make it as, you know, lived in and real as possible, whilst still making it playable. Because I try and make all of my builds playable, you know. I like the idea that if somebody like went and grabbed it off the gallery, they could, you know, they wouldn't really need to do much. They could literally just jump straight in and you know, play in it. So yeah, this house is no exception. You can do that. And when you see the screenshots at the end, there's quite a lot of stuff in this tiny little house. So I'll tell you about these windows. I really wanted the round windows that you kind of, maybe you saw them in the image earlier, but I struggled to find some that were the right shape. I really liked the shape of the base game ones, but I wanted them to be white. I wanted like the inside frames to be white, and the only option I had with those was blue or brown, so I had to kind of come up with another idea. So I ended up using all these smaller base game windows, and then these ones are from Get Together, and I used I think it's like a wall decoration from the base game to kind of lay over the top of the windows to just kind of make it look like they had rounded tops instead of like the I'm not really sure what they are, but it's kind of like a peaked top, sorry, on the window. And it's nice, but it wasn't what I was looking for, so I had to change it slightly, but I think they look interesting. It's a shame that they're so thick, because if they had been a little bit like flatter to the wall, it probably would have looked more to what I was going for, but I think it looks pretty good anyway. I tried to cover up the bottom of the like wall decorations with the shelves and everything, but you can still see it, and I probably could have added more shelves underneath, but then it just would have been too many shelves and it just would have looked odd. But you know, generally you're not going to be looking that close to the bottom of the building, you're going to be looking everywhere else. I wasn't really sure what to do about the like the paint, I guess, on the outside of the building. You will see I changed my mind a couple of times. because originally the model that I was going off of was like pink and white with some stone, but I didn't really want it to be pink. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it just doesn't seem like something you would see on a house. I don't know. Maybe has anyone seen a pink house in real life, because I haven't. And I'd be interested to know if you have. But I decided to go with green in the end. I do kind of play around with blue for a little bit, but I don't know, I think it just looked too pale, like too white to me, and it didn't stand out against the whiteboarding that I use on the rest of the house. And then the darker blue was just too dark, and green is my favorite color, so we just go with green. So I've just finished adding all of these like stone pathway slab things. I do tweak them a little bit more because I am never happy. I did the same thing with the roof, like I couldn't quite get the roof the right shape that I wanted, but we get there in the end. I looked at the thumbnail after I'd finished and realized that I probably should have added like another tile onto the right hand side before the little bump out that I've got there, just so that the roof extended a little bit more like it does on the left hand side. But I can't change it now. And you know, after I'd done all the landscaping that you'll see me do in a couple minutes, it was just too much to then go back and change it all. Because I do quite a lot. So like I said earlier, I'm just playing around with these paving paving slabs again, because I'm finicky, and I'm sure everybody does. I didn't like, you see what I'm doing with the roof, I didn't like the fact that the roof tiles didn't line up between like the 2 or 3 separate pieces that I've used to try and stop the like the overhang in places I didn't want it. And I realized after I was watching this back, that chimney that I've just put in doesn't actually line up where I've got the fireplace in the end. So it lines up where I've got it now, but when I went to do the furnishing, I changed the floor plan to what I have it currently, and yeah, I ended up moving it to like a different wall. It's still kind of underneath it, but not quite. So as you can see, I'm playing around with all the different wall paints right now. I keep the brick, or like the brick, the same. It was literally just like the colored pieces that you saw. I couldn't make my mind up whether I liked them different colors. So I should mention, this is actually a small house in the tiny home, whatever it was called, section, category. Yep. It's classed as a small home because it's less than 100 tiles, which I thought was pretty good. I do want to go back and try, I say go back, I don't know where I'm going back to. I want to try building like a tiny home, or maybe a micro home, but I'm not really very good at doing things on like a small scale. I tend to, I don't know, go huge. So the house that, or I say house, I should probably think of the words I'm saying before I use them. The building that I am building right now, I originally wanted it on the, I think it's a 40 by 30 in Forgotten Hollow, on where Vlad's home usually is. I thought that would be a really good space for it because of you know, what it looks like. And I tried to build a little bit before I started recording just to see if I could get like a general idea of the floor plan, and it did not fit. And then so I thought, okay, well, I'll just move it to a 64 by 64, and then if, you know, it doesn't take up quite as much room, then I'll just move it to 50 by 50 or something. And unfortunately, the 64 by 64 has turned out not to be big enough. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that one. It's a pretty big building, and there's a lot of details that I want to include that I unfortunately might have to minimize, change slightly, or just eliminate from my plan because I don't think it's going to fit. But you know, I'm going to keep trying. I'm not giving up. I literally spent like all day on it, all day today, all day yesterday, so like 2 days. And I literally only have the shell because it was a pain. So I think it's like 6 or 7 floors, this building, and obviously we're only limited to 4. I have kind of used the foundation as like a faux floor, but still, you know, it's still not going to work how I wanted it to, so I'm hoping that I can figure it out. So anyway, I should probably talk about this build, not the other one. When I was thinking about the clutter and everything that I wanted to include in this, I thought it would be a nice idea, since it is a nice country cottage and that I'd built it in Windenburg, that I would make it like a gardener's home or like a florist's home or somebody who just enjoys plant and being outside. So ignore the lot name. I rebuilt on a lot that I had already built, so you know that's not the name of this lot, so just ignore it. I think I've called it Cluttered Cottage. I think that's what I've called it. So I add quite a lot of landscaping to this tiny little fenced in yard area that we have. I use all debug items again, like I always do. All of these flowers are from the base game. I think it's only 2 items that are from Get Together, and that is, when I get to it, the grass, and I think it's, I don't know whether they're daisies. I don't think they are. I think they're just like little white flowers, and I tried to make it look like it blended in with the world around it, so what you can kind of see off the side of the lot is the debug items that I've used. I also wanted to make it look, I wouldn't say natural, because obviously these are they're not natural. They've definitely been planted here, but like it was growing through the fence, and you know that whoever lived here, this sim has just allowed nature to do what it wanted to do and hasn't tried to hold it back, which I think is really nice. So these, when I get to them, these are the grass pieces that I use, and I literally use them everywhere because I thought, like, you know, I mean maybe it's just me, but when the plants and everything have grown as naturally as they have in these style houses, these types of places, then it's always nice just to leave it alone and just let it do what it wants. And I personally am a fan of like really overgrown plants and greenery and everything, because usually it attracts like bees and butterflies, and you know, if you're near water and things, then you attract like dragonflies and things, and I think that's, I don't know, I just really like them. And I kind of was hoping that this was the type of house that would attract all of those things. So I am adding all of these plants to the sides of the building. It wasn't until I was taking the screenshots that I realized that I have chosen to add the plants on like the right hand side. Other than this side of the building, all the other 3 sides I've chosen to put the growing or climbing plants, sorry, on the right hand side. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, I really like the red swatch. I don't usually use that red swatch very often, but I think it looks nice. Now we are on to screenshots, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think. It is on the gallery for you. Make sure that Move Objects is on. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you would like to see more content like this. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!